Good afternoon, good evening, Harlem and Harlems of the world and the world. I'm Terri Wisdom, and this is Harlem Network News. And Harlem Network News is a media outlet that started at the onset of COVID, and we are still here. Our mission, our mantra is to inform, engage, and call to action. And that is more critical than ever in such a time as this, as war is happening, as it was said in the East, war in the West, war everywhere, and then the rollback of war in the Middle East. So there's a lot going on. We just came off of our Democratic primary, and front and center was the mayoral upset that happened with Zoran Mandani coming ahead and winning that Democratic primary over big money, okay, that was pushed into our former Governor Cuomo's campaign. So we're still on this ride. We know that the elections are coming up in November. Our current mayor, Eric Adams, is running on an independent ticket, though he's a Democrat. Now the Democratic primary candidate is Zoran Mandani, and it's posted as Democrat Socialist. And we also have Curtis Sliwa running as a Republican, and we don't know what any of the other candidates are going to do for that matter, or if in fact Cuomo is going to come up on the independent ticket. So we have a lot to decide. We encourage everyone to, once again, be informed, be engaged, be called to action, and vote. It's determining what happens in our life, as many other things. And we need to take this as an opportunity for a change, to really take control of our lives. So without further ado, because we have with us Dr. Linda Humes of YAFFA with us, and all of these things are connected because she represents an amazing arts and culture organization. And we know art, culture, politics, education, all of those come together. So Dr. Linda Humes, without further ado, if you would just let our audience know who you are and whose you are. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Terri, thank you so much for everything that you do in the community and for having this platform, which is so important for us to have a progressive news outlet that lets us know what is going on in our community from a non-biased and conscious perspective. So kudos to you, my sister. So whose I am, God and the orishas and the forces and the light, I am nothing without God, so I always have to put him first, or put she first, or whatever, the ancestors, because if it was not for that spiritual presence and those protective spiritual entities that continue to guide us, that continue to protect us. I don't know, I just can speak for myself. I don't know where I would be. And then, like you said earlier, at such a time as this, right? So YAFFA Cultural Arts Inc., I founded 34 years ago. 2026, we will celebrate 35 years of service in the New York City, the New York City, community and beyond. And the mission basically is inspiration, education, entertainment, arts for life. So that takes on many different categories. So we have an arts and education component where we work with schools and educational institutions and facilities. We provide comprehensive services that include professional development for teachers and staff, parent engagement, direct services to students in the forms of workshops, different multidisciplinary and multicultural workshops for students that include character education, as well as uh, restorative justice when needed and asked for, and then assembly programs. So we do that for the education, for our education component. We also work with community-based organizations and, any organization that is set up to edify what it is to be human. So we have worked in spaces with people who are unhoused, right? People who are surviving and recovering. We have worked in group homes, basically anywhere where people need another way to look at their lives and grow their lives. And we understand that arts can do that. And when we look at the indigenous practices of around the world, right? The way that people healed their villages, the way that they handled emotional issues and community situations was through arts. They were connected. They weren't put up somewhere just to go and see. They were something that was participatory and something that was used in edifying the spirituality, the emotional condition, and to raise the consciousness of the village. So we really utilize that. We really utilize that. And I'm very, very excited because this weekend we are partnering. I have to put my
Yeah,
glasses on now.
thank you for that. Not to interrupt you, but thank you
Mhm.
for sharing all of what you do. And this is Harlem Network News. I'm here with Dr. Linda Humes of YAFFA, and she was sharing a little bit about what YAFFA does. I'm just going to interrupt quick. And what is restorative justice? We always want to make sure that we don't just speak of things and then our audience has no idea of what we're talking about. So if
Mhm,
you could share a little bit about the
mhm,
restorative
mhm,
justice, and then
mhm.
next, we want to talk about the great events you have coming up this weekend. Thank
Well,
you.
I was absolutely segueing into that
Okay.
because, yes, because the event this weekend is not just for dance sake, which is really exciting. There's nothing wrong with that. But when we look at restorative justice, again, when we look at indigenous societies, all indigenous societies, I don't care what village it was. I don't care if you're looking at indigenous people from Australia or the native people of this landmass or on the
Okay.
continent. There were ways that they handled conflict resolution, where they handled how do we deal with situations where someone was harmed, if you will. And it differs from culture to culture. But what
Mhm.
happened is the Native Americans, specifically in Canada, there were people in the social justice realm who really started studying what restorative justice was in those communities and how they worked it out. And so then they started to implement these practices, and they saw where this could really be something that helps us with our criminal justice system, where we have less people going to jail? How do you handle people once they might have a little record, and then and maybe even coming out? So then, of course, now you have people who have written books and, talking about this idea of looking at how the person who has been harmed and the person who has done the harming can come together and have some kind of acknowledgement of what the hurt was, and also some accountability to what was done to the person, rather than just punish,
Thank
punish,
you.
punish, but looking at a way that both parties can be restored in an equitable manner. So what came up
Thank you.
for
Thank you for
me
breaking that down. I appreciate it. Mhm.
what came up for me with my social justice and academic head is that, we talk about the native people's way of doing restorative justice, which I totally respect, totally work with, but there is an African restorative justice. So you have Ubuntu from South Africa, made
Okay.
popular by Bishop Tutu
Love it.
after apartheid, with, okay, there's a situation here. There needs to be accountability and voicing that there was some real hurt done, and giving people the opportunity to say how they were hurt, so that that country could move forward. So then all of a sudden, that was the buzzword, Ubuntu. The corporations started using the word Ubuntu and bringing it into the way that they handle team building and conflict resolution in their companies, et cetera, et cetera. But in the Congo and in Brazzaville, Congo, they have something called Ibongi. So, as a
Ebongi.
storyteller and also someone who's very connected to social justice, because I'm at John Jay College,
Okay. Thank you
Mbongi
for
is
sharing.
the circle that they do that deals with restorative justice in their villages. So
Okay.
this weekend, I had the opportunity last summer to go with my teacher, and Dosh Lubaki, and actually was able to see a Mbongi there
In
when
the Congo?
YAFFA in Brazzaville, and then
Brazzaville.
YAFFA does trips every couple of years. So we went to New Orleans last year, and then we had Tito Sampe do a community dance class and a Mbongi in the Congo Square in New Orleans, right? So
Whoa.
we bringing him back. He's here now, and we have many different wonderful dancers and choreographers that came in from Paris and the Midwest. And after all the wonderful dancing workshops that start tonight, and I'll give you all the information,
Thank you.
tomorrow at 5 o'clock will be an Mbongi circle.
Ooh.
So the Congolese will be able to show us how that is done. And that's where the folklore, and I know you as a storyteller would appreciate this. This is where the stories happen and the folklore happens, but then the lessons happen. And then what is going on right now, that you can take that wisdom and use it for what is going on now. So we're going to do some more work with that later on during the year, and also in the beginning of 2026. But I'm so excited that part of this wonderful collaboration is going to be the Mbongi Circle. So
Thank you,
what is
very.
happening?
Thank
Mhm.
you. Go right
So
ahead.
so tonight at Uptown Dance Academy, which for those in your audience that might not know, excuse me, it's a wonderful dance academy for young people. They do a wonderful, wonderful job with the children. We are having the kickoff by having two dance workshops tonight, starting at 5 o'clock. And
Okay.
that address is 186 East 123rd Street. And then tomorrow, starting at 10 a.m. sharp, we have dance workshops all the way through 5 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, we have Andosh and Kodasan teaching. At 11:30, we have Ikara. Then we have a lunch break with traditional Congolese food. Then at 2 o'clock, we have Makaya. And at 3:30, we have the one and only Biza Sampa. And then we will have the Mbongi Circle. And
What time is the Umbongi
that's at 5. That's
at
at
5?
5. That's at
Okay,
5.
great,
And
great, great.
then everything culminates on Sunday, and all roads lead to Symphony Space, which is on Broadway and 95th Street. Very, very convenient. You could come right out of the 2 or the 3 train and you're there, or, it's very easy to drive. And at 4 o'clock, there will be the Makino Makongo, which is Dances of the Congo, choreographed by Andosh Lubaki. And this is going to be amazing. It's going to be with the New York company, as well as the visiting artist, from the Congo, and it is going to be sensational with the drummers
Okay.
and the regalia and the dances.
Could you repeat just a second? Because I think we all got so excited when you talked about dance starting on Friday, Uptown Dance Academy. And
Yes.
who is the director of that Uptown Dance Academy?
Oh, I don't want to get her name all confused, because sometimes,
I think is it Robin or
that sounds familiar, because
I
I
believe
met
it's
her
Robin
years
Williams.
ago.
Yes. I think
Yes.
she does the
Mhm.
Black Nutcracker. So that is,
Yes, we
yes,
had her
Robin Williams. Thank
when
you.
we used to do the Kwanzaa at the Museum of Natural History.
Mhm.
Her young people performed once,
Excellent.
and yes, and she, like I said before, I just couldn't, I didn't want to mess her name up
Right.
to the
Yeah, I
wrong
believe
thing,
it's
but she,
Robin
but
Williams.
but
So
but it's so
kudos for working
wonderful
collectively. So
that
one,
we're able to use her space tonight and also
yeah,
tomorrow, because usually Andosh has his dance classes when he's in town,
I see.
at Marcus Garvey Park, right where the drummers drum
Right.
too. But
Yes, yes.
our weather has been so interesting.
Okay,
Say
yes.
that.
So, so
Interesting.
are we not certain about Marcus Garvey Park tomorrow, or we're
No,
definitely
we're
moving?
not doing it at
Okay.
Marcus Garvey
We're
Park,
not taking that
because
chance.
we
Yeah.
don't want anything interrupting the flow
Excellent.
of these
Excellent.
master
Okay.
dance teachers, teaching, and of the Mbongi. We don't want anything
Thank
interfering,
thank
even Mother Nature, because
Okay. I
so we're
got you.
not
I
gonna
got
mess with
I
Mother
got
Nature. For those of us who remember that line, go back.
Okay.
Not nice
Right.
to but
I hear
mess
you.
with Mother Nature.
Now,
So
can you just reiterate what's going to, this is Harlem Network News. I'm Terri Wisdom. And we just got so excited hearing what Dr. Linda Humes had to say about this weekend and what YAFFA's doing. But can you also repeat what's going to happen on Sunday at
yes, so on
Symphony Space?
Sunday, we are going to have the dance concert Makino Makongo, which is dances of the Congo. So it'll be traditional dances from the Congo, with not only the local company, Dosha's local company, but also the visiting artists from Paris, from the Midwest, and of course the elder, Tito Sampe in
All
from
right.
New Orleans. And it starts
All
at 4 o'clock,
right. Okay.
and it's $27. So
Okay.
you
Thank
can't even get a
you.
dinner,
Yeah.
no more for
Yeah.
$27,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
Okay.
you have a wonderful concert, and it's
Yeah.
after church.
Okay, yes, that's very important on Sunday because we know, especially Harlem and Harlems of the world, it's church.
That's it.
And
Yes.
coming after this election, it's going to be, people are going to be, you know, in church, because church is a place where people connect, where they communicate. And, we are circular people. So very, very
Yes.
critical. Well, thank you.
Also, this is going to be healing. I hate to cut you off, but
Yeah, no,
again,
no.
you know, because you dance, and we've danced together, and we understand, like, for years, just dancing, what it has done for us personally. But this kind of dancing with drumming is healing. And we
Absolutely.
need the healing now. I don't care if you need put on your knee pads. I don't want to hear about, oh, my knees don't work no more. Just that. Just do it, Jake. Just shake it up a little.
You can.
And and then to see this performance and hear the drums, it is healing. And we have to go back to, again, like Sankofa from Ghana, the bird that looks back, the Ndinkra symbol. Go back to what is valuable from our past and bring that into our present so that we can have a wonderful future. Our ancestors have been through worse, but we have to tap into what they did so that
Mhm.
we could be here now. So
Okay.
with what all that's going on now, we have got to do what our ancestors knew that they did to keep us going. And that is our culture, that is community, that is looking out for one another, that is being strategic. So we know we have the tools, but we have to use them. We can't just get so caught up with looking at all the news, all the things on social media, and then our nerves. The next thing you know, oh, I got anxiety. I got this kind of anxiety. I got this kind of anxiety. Yeah, well, it's what we feed ourselves. So we have to do things that balance that out. And like the Bible says, our joy is our strength. And our people knew that even
Yes.
before.
I love that. And this is Harlem Network News, Terri Wisdom, Dr. Linda Hume. And I think that is something for us to walk with. Our
Mhm,
joy is our strength. I'm
mhm,
going to really take that because we have so much to do and we juggle so much, particularly here in these Harlems of the world with economic disparities and
mhm,
all kinds of things. So we have to keep that in mind, fighting all of what is around us from gun violence to
mhm,
drug problems to mental health issues. So just knowing that that's what our ancestors work with, our
mhm,
joy, our joy
mhm,
is
mhm,
power. So
mhm.
we've got to do that. So I would be amiss to not ask you why the Congo, why Congolese? It's so right now front and center in the news because we know
Mhm,
there are
mhm,
many issues going on in the
mhm.
Congo. There are the issues of, all of the batteries and everything that fuels these cell phones and
So
everything coming from the Congo.
so
And the
Andosh,
president has jumped in that.
yeah.
So come
So
on.
Andosh is from Brazzaville because
Okay.
after they went and cut up the continent like a daggone
Okay.
piece of cake,
Okay.
you can literally look over at the quote unquote Congo. It's like
Mhm.
going from New York to Staten Island.
Okay.
But it's a different country. So
Okay.
so being that he's from Brazzaville,
Okay.
so that's what this is all about. But you know what? Pan-Africanism. We can't ignore what is going on in the Congo. And
Mm.
we can't, and it also brings up what has
Restorative justice.
happened and the terrible atrocities. No one talks about the Holocaust that happened in the Congo. We
Mhm.
talk about what happened now, but they were using biological warfare on the Congolese before they started using it in Germany and in Europe with World War II, the Nazis, the Germans, King Leopold. There was so much going from there. So even though there's a whole lot of terrible things going on now, it is just an extension from from Leopold and the colonization. But my way of looking at this,
Mhm.
not just the Congo, but
Yeah.
on the continent of Africa, is that every empire has its day. Every
Okay.
empire has its day, right?
All
So
right.
for us, when we look at 400 years transatlantic slavery, whatever, of course it seems like a long, long time. But in the span of human timeline, it's not that long. There's still people who can remember a grandparent or a grandparent a parent or a grandparent or a great grandparent that was enslaved. So where am I going with this? Where I'm going with this is the continent of Africa. There are beginnings where there are rulers, leaders, not maybe as much as we would like, who are saying, you know what? Guess what? It stops now. Burkina Faso, Niger,
Okay.
Ghana, right? Even Kenya. There's different leadership now that's saying, no, 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 no. We are the richest continent in the world, and we've made
Okay.
everyone else rich, and our people are poor. This has got to stop. So I believe there's factions in the Congo that absolutely are fighting against this. And when we look at all of the different things that are going on, not only on the continent of Africa, but all over the world now, it's enough to shake us up. But things sometimes have to get shaken up before there's a change.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so I'm very interested to hear in the Mbongi circle, what some of the elders will talk about tomorrow, and just talk about maybe more on the ground, what is happening there. When I was in Brazzaville, I really became angry because the resilience and the joy of the people and how they just did the most they could with so little, and how the government is just so corrupt. Excuse me. The inequitable distribution and the greed. I mean, how many cars can you drive? How many houses?
No,
And
I hear you. I hear
and
you.
then the people are so resilient. They are so intelligent. They're so they deserve better than that.
Okay.
So we have to get these bad
A
leaders
lot to
out.
reckon with, and even to reckon with the fact of how the Congo's been split up, to a
Exactly.
it's kind of just like redistricting here in
Sure.
New York City and the impact that that has. So,
That's right.
I just think it's very timely because I know there are lots of negotiations going on right now between President Donald Trump and trying to pump money into the Congo and, get the Chinese out of it, so there are layers to what is happening. So I, think, even in the restorative justice and the Mbongo circle, it's all connected. It's
It's
all
all
a
connected.
powerful circle of events that we're dealing with, and even what we're dealing with here. So,
Exactly. That shows us right there, like you opened up,
yeah,
sharing about our election here in Manhattan. That I mean in New York, but that just shows how much people want a change.
yes, yes, yes. And I think, as you said, when situations are really bad, that kind of gets people involved. Like something happens, and then it's going to make them have to deal with stuff. And I don't know, I can't quote it, but I know that that's what our great ancestor, Marcus Messiah Garvey, was speaking about. When the
Absolutely.
situations or the circumstances happen, that's when change happens. So
Absolutely.
time of change, such a time as this. And Harlem Network News is right here to be part of that change and make sure,
Yes.
fighting to make sure that Black media is on the scene because people are being so misinformed and so confused. And that's
Absolutely.
so just give us some closing statements, and we thank you for taking the time with
Oh,
everything that's going on. And we're
thank you.
gonna, get this show going. We're pre-recorded, everybody, but the events start this evening, and they're gonna go
Yes.
tomorrow, and they're gonna go straight through
Yes. Yes.
Sunday. And I can attest to the dance just being healing. It shifts, if you're into the chakras or
Oh,
whatever,
absolutely.
out the
And the
top of your head.
drumming.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it's a healing
Yeah.
thing.
And it's
It's
scientific. It's not just, oh, boom,
yes,
boom, boom.
yes,
It
yes,
is
yes.
scientific. The
There's a
data
science to that. Your
is
heart
a
beat or your
science
heartbeat
to
can
it.
connect, and we know that's how the Zulus, Shaka Zulu, You're driving.
Exactly,
Some people can't
exactly.
handle it.
Yeah,
So
so
go
I would
ahead.
invite
Thank
everyone,
you.
to go to our website, which is www.yaffaculturalarts.org, and you can see information, about the weekend. But also, we out of requests during COVID, we wrote a journal called My Right to Heal, which has eight artists donated their artwork to the journal, and it has 50 multicultural quotes, and it's a life skills journal, so it has different things, and then you can journal on them. It has on grieving, on parenting, on a positive state of mind, all of these things that can help us during this time. So we did it during COVID, and it helped a lot of people. And we still use that journal with many workshops. People buy it, and just work with it on their own, or they will purchase it with a workshop series. And it's called My Right to Heal.
Okay, well, I thank you for that. And on that note, we're going to begin to close. I would be amiss. I just want to send up prayers and just for us to take action in terms of the gun violence that is happening in our community. I don't have his name, but I know a young man this past week lost his life to gun violence. He was not the target, just in the wrong place at the wrong time. His mother's name, first name is Algeria, and she is a colleague. I don't want to give the last name out just cause, but we are standing with you. We are sending our prayers. We are sending our healing to this too young new ancestor. As you know, I am a member of Harlem Mothers and Fathers Save. I lost my son to gun violence 3.5 years ago. So it's something that we've got to address, and Harlem Network News is about that addressing. So we want to thank you. You can reach out to us on our YouTube channel. Call us at 646-261-5397 if you have stories or information. Harlem Network News at gmail.com and harlemnetworknews.com. And we are revamping our website, and we're very excited about the work that we plan to do this summer. Thank you, Dr. Linda Hughes, and thank you, because I do remember the work that you do or did right at Rikers Island. You did some very critical work bringing artists into Rikers Island, and we're hoping more of that can happen. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And everybody, you got to come on out, you got to support, you got to get that healing, and it's very timely. So we appreciate all you do and the body of knowledge and work. 34, almost 35 years, that's a lot. So we'll have to have you back, and take care. And we look forward, and we will be at as many of the events as we can to cover it,
Okay.
bring it to the people. So
Thank you so
whatever
much.
backward never, up ye mighty race. Thank you. And so goes Harlem, so goes the world. That's James Baldwin. Got it. Love it. Okay. Take care, my dear. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.